All right, everyone, welcome back to this channel. Welcome back to this podcast on the My Journey to America podcast. Wow, today we have a special guest. We have a special one. Let me just tell you, this is the person that introduced me to YouTube, that I could have a YouTube channel. This was like in 2017, 2018, right? On the Bible study. You are the one that allow me to create that Bible study channel. I was just doing my thing, and you asked me if I have a YouTube channel.
Yes, you were on Facebook at the time.
I was on Facebook, and you created the channel, which is called Christ Love for Life.
Correct.
Okay? This is the person, Camille Thompson, aka Miss Naturalist. And I'm going to just allow her to just introduce herself.
Well, I'm so honored to be here. Finally, we wanted to do this thing for quite some time, but
Oh my God.
just as you said, when time permits, and we're now doing it here, which I believe it's still a perfect time to do it. So I'm a mom of 4, and I wanted to do YouTube for a very long time. I've been doing YouTube for about 12 to 13 years. I love videos. I love the media overall. I have a background in it. So like I said, I'm a mom of 4. I always want to document the journey of me as a mom and thing of that nature. So I decided to, take it a top notch and decide to monitor and use this as a portfolio to track my children as we grow together, So this is how we come about YouTube. So like I said, I've been doing this for quite some time now, and I'm here now. So I'm just honored to be here with Kevin and his on his podcast. And I know this is I'm glad that I'm doing it right now, because in a couple months from here, we're gonna thrive. So that's what brings me here today.
Okay. All right. So Camille, so the podcast is called My Journey to America. Let me ask you, which year did you came to America?
I came here 1995.
95. 95. And you grew up in Trelawney.
Grew up in Trelawney, Duncan's Trelawney. Yes, right where you see that clock, that's where I'm from, Duncan's.
Duncan's Trelawney. So, most kids, if not all of us, salivates about coming to America. Was that a thing for you?
Absolutely. It was a thing for me, just because I knew that I had family in the States. So I wanted to be here. Was like how my being in Jamaica, we all know it wasn't easy. So when I learned that there was an opportunity for me to be here, it was a gift, to be honest. So I'm humble.
Like for me, I grew up in St. Catherine, which is very far from where you're from, in Trelawney. What was the community like growing up? Certainly for me, amenities. We had to carry water. Was that a thing for you?
Correct. So that was it. For me, I was about 7 years old. From the time I can remember. Yes, I have to bring water. When my mom was not available, it was me and my sister at the time. I used to bring my sister on my back. We start from 7, because I remember from those times. Carrying water, I have to make dumpling and butter when we were hungry. It's a lot. We get breakfast, but once I'm out of school, I know where to hunt for food. It wasn't like, how we have beef patty now, can't eat during the day until dinner time. My thing was climbing a mango tree, or climbing the guinea tree, that type of thing. And I knew where to get them for me and my sister at the time. So we know how to survive and thrive at that time until my mom get home. In fact, I was like a little tomboy at the time.
Whoa. All right, so let's springboard off that. So those I don't want to call it difficulties, but those things that you had to do, to carry the water and do all of that stuff. How does that help a Camille Thompson today? How does that build, if any, intestinal fortitude in today's life?
Well, for me, it builds character, and for me, it helped me to see the value of things coming from where I started from. You know, I have a different mindset of life. So anything that I accomplish now, I use those time to remember, you know, what it was. So for me, it's not about, you know, I didn't have it. I have to hunt for it. So I have a mindset right now. The reason why I'm this way, like a go-getter, is because I knew how to hunt at those times. So, you know, anything you want in life, you have to go for it. And that was my mindset at the time. So me, as a 40-year-old woman right now, it teaches me how to value things and how to look at things and not take life for granted, because I remember those times back then.
Wow. By the way, 40 years old, we can't tell. But anyway, we'll work with that if you say you're that age. Camille, how did the news came? Because I know this must be very, very exciting time. How did the news came that Camille was going to migrate to America, and how you felt? Take us back to that moment.
Okay, so my mom had things hard. First of all, my mom didn't have her parents up until she had her parents up until she was about 15 years old. After 15, she lost her mom and her father and went to go live with her aunt. And at the time, then she met my dad. And you know, when you're young and stuff like that, my father took her and then took her to Trelawney and thing of that nature. So she had things hard, but my dad did not stay with her. My dad ended up having another woman, which is my stepmom, that raised me, you know. Yes. So what happened now, at the time, we were just, you know, my mom had it hard at the time, hunting, working, trying to figure things out with me and my sister. So at the time, we were like after school, out and about, and people would just tell the news to my aunt, and then my aunt go tell my father that we're just up and about the place and stuff like that. You know how that go, right? When you see in the backyard, and you just to and fro. So what happened was my aunt ended up told my father that he need to come get us before this man named Pongo are us. He was one of them, was in and out of jail. And at the time, was one of those men that you keep hearing story. So I remember that my aunt told him, and then I heard that he was putting in paperwork for us because they didn't want us to be a victim of what was going on in the area. You know what I said? R.
I know what you mean.
Yes. I just don't want to pick. I don't know where this is going to go. Yeah. So I heard that paperwork went in quick for us, and within I think within like a year or so, I heard that me and my sister were leaving. So that was the opportunity for us. At the time, it was very hard for my mom, but I felt like because her life was so challenging at the time, it was a sacrifice. You know, she wanted to. If I was in her shoes, maybe I wouldn't, but I honor her. And I respect the fact that she decided to give us a better future and send us off with my father. And that's how I ended up here. So I was raised with my father and my stepmom.
You know, Camille, funny you mention that, because what most people don't know, that is customary in our community, where once the opportunity comes for someone to go to America, they will always take the opportunity. You and I know that parents will even often leave and come to America and work to create a better life for their kids, and then eventually send for their kids, right? Correct. But I want to ask you though, when you first got here, because we're going to get back to your biological mom, but when you first got here, you came straight to Florida?
No, Brooklyn, New York.
Oh, you came to New York?
Yes, I lived in New York for years. So like I said,
New York girl.
Yes, New York, Brooklyn, New
Wow.
York.
I
Brook
always think you're a sunshine girl down there in Florida,
no,
showing
no, no,
up
no, no.
with me on the
Brook
cold. Yeah.
Brooklyn in the
So you came in
building.
Brooklyn. What was that like in Brooklyn? Because this is 1994, Camille.
Hmm.
What was that like in Brooklyn? And by the way, did you came in the winter? Because I have to ask that.
I came in the winter. Yeah, I remember just like today. It was in the winter time. I remember I got my first pair of sneakers. My stepmom took us to Peerless at the time, and I got my sneakers at the time when I came. Everything was just amazing. It looks good. It's a different we're in a different state. Sorry if you hear my background music. It gets horrible at this time. Like they've
But
been
that's fine.
yeah. So make a long story short, no, I got my sneakers ready to school, got my supply and everything. And I started fourth grade, I think, at the time.
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't it was such a great feeling because when you're used to two shoes back home for church and school, and I don't wear no shoes on my foot otherwise from that to now coming here having sneakers and gears and thing of that nature. I was happy at the time.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's how when I got here, it was just an opportunity for me. But there's a but, and we'll get there.
All right. So you came here in 1994, right?
1995.
95. So you were like 10 years old.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Were you outgoing right up front when you go to school? Because kids can be not the kindest, right?
Okay.
Talk to us about that in Jamaica versus coming in here and going to school as a foreigner.
Okay. So before I came to the state, I had won Mini Miss Duncan for Trelawney Duncans. Yeah. I
You
won
and
that. I
Mrs.
did it
Duncan.
twice. Yeah, I went the first year, got third place, and the first time I went, I got third place. The second time I went, I got first place. So when I left at the time, I was a very prime girl because there was so much going on around me, and because I was taking care of my little sister, that I had an adult mindset at the time, right? So when I came here, everybody just thought, oh, Camille is just too prime. She's just too prime. Like I wasn't the quiet girl. Like you say something, quick response. And, I was just short, but it was good and it was bad. You understand what I'm saying? It's good and it's
Mhm.
bad because
You're
I,
misunderstood.
I misunderstood. Right, right. The pressure was real then. So at 10, I felt like I was an adult in a teenage in a child's body, if that makes sense, however
Yes.
way we put it. But I had the mindset of, yeah, I was just too mature in my mind, just
Mhm.
too much mature. So when I got here now, it's like for my parents and those who were around me, they thought that they had to slow me down because
Mm.
I knew how to do this and that. And when I started school now, I remember when I started school, that was fourth grade. At the time, I was speaking straight patois, didn't know anything about proper English, so to speak, So I come and they start mocking me. The first thing, my sneakers, me now think my sneakers is the bomb because it lights up. That's what I'm new to, but
And
not
they
knowing
light.
here. Those light up button when you walk, it light up. So like
Yes.
me think me well hot. But when I
Yeah.
went to class, the whole class laughed after me. They was like, what are those? Those type of thing. And I'm telling you, I remember it's
Wow.
like they shut me down.
But Camille, that's funny because here you are, happy to come to America. It's not like you're in high school. You're just a 10-year-old child, and
Mhm.
kids were taken aback that what are she's wearing? It's
Right,
unbelievable. All
right.
right, so talk to us now about high school.
Okay. So high school, no, high school was a great experience for me, although I did not accomplish all that I wanted to because I had so much responsibilities on me.
Yeah.
Like I said, at 10 years old, there was a lot that I was doing, but I was very handy, very skills with my hand, and because I was mature, my parents had me with there's a lot of responsibilities on me. So
Mhm.
I was taking care of my siblings while my parents were working and stuff like that. So truth be told, when I hit high school, I didn't have all that opportunity to endorse in like a lot of sports. The only thing I was perhaps doing was like track and field and a little bit of volleyball. But
Mm.
the entire experience that I wanted, I couldn't because I had so much responsibility. I had to get home at a certain time to take care of my siblings, and I
Mm.
felt like to some point that kind of damp something for me. But yeah,
Yeah. Hence, that's why you're so into your kids.
correct.
It's all over social media. We know how you are with your kids. Let me ask you a question though. I always like to ask this question. What was it like meeting kids from different ethnicities? Because we grew up in Jamaica. Everybody's Jamaican, right? Probably
Yes,
one or two Indians here or there. But when you're here, you're meeting kids from Mexico. You're meeting kids from all walks of life. I mean, my neighbor is from Syria. Come on, you know what I mean? What was
yeah.
that like for you?
So for me, diversifying was fine for me. I don't mind because I am open-minded, because my mind was already attracted to see so many different things. So when I came here
Mhm.
and I see different ethnic, my tongue tied, group of people,
Yes. Yeah, yeah, I understand.
it was fine for me because I wanted to learn their culture. So it wasn't, I loved it, different type of food, how they talk, the language, getting to know their upbringing. It sparks an interest for me. So it was fine with me. And
Mm.
I feel like diversifying is always good.
Do you have a friend from a different country right now?
Mm-hmm. I have a lot of um so let's talk about social media. I met a lot of people online that I'm friends with from different country.
Yeah. Wow. All
Mhm.
right. So let us look now at what are the things that you appreciated about America when you came?
Well, I appreciate the environment, having a better lifestyle, having the food that I want to eat versus what I did not have. It makes me very much appreciative, Um, having a family, getting to see my father, because I would hear about my father all the time. And even when I heard about him, some wasn't good, some was bad, but at least I get to see, who my father is and spend time with him, and
Mm.
just having our family. That family is important to me. So me
Mm.
coming here is definitely an opportunity and everything else that comes with it. Now we know that the American dream now is another story.
Mm.
But at the end of the day, I'm still grateful for this opportunity, because look where I am. I mean, if my mom was selfish and say, me now go send me pitney them go nowhere, probably I would have 10 kids already. Probably, maybe I wouldn't, I don't know, because I knew my personality back then. It could have been worse. So the fact that my mom said, you know what? Let me just make a short-term sacrifice for a long-term goal. Because guess what? Right now, my mom is here. I filed for her and I took her here for what, 7 years now. So
Mhm.
it just all makes sense. Sometimes we may not see things on the forefront, but it all makes sense in the end, because look at the end result now. She's here.
What were the conversation like? And you can circumvent. What were the conversation like talking to your mom back in Jamaica, you know, while you were here? Did you think was this the right thing because I miss my mom? What was that like?
Well, because I had some challenges with my stepmom at the time, there were questions there at the time. And then since I've gotten older, there are things I had to put past me and
Yeah.
on focus on doing what I have to do as a daughter to my mom, knowing that she was back home. They would
Hmm.
call my mom. I guess she was out we call it Igla, we sell on streets.
Yeah,
That was what my mom was doing at the time. So I
back
didn't
in
have time
Jamaica.
in Jamaica, yes. So I didn't have time to focus on the negative. I wanted to focus on the positive, send her the money when she need to, and over time, get her here.
Okay. And how many siblings you have?
So I have geez, I'm counting six, nine.
You, you have nine. Camille, you have nine siblings.
Yes, my mom
Where,
have
where,
my mom
where,
wait, my mom have four. Yeah, my mom have four, and then my dad have seven.
where you fall?
I'm the second oldest.
Oh, you were right out the bat.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Wow. All right. So
10, 10, 10, 10,
10.
10,
Wow.
yeah, 10, 10.
You
Mm-hmm.
guys have a big Thanksgiving. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So let's start now. When did you leave New York to Florida?
Florida. Okay. So in 2013, I was introduced to network marketing in 2012
Oh,
at the
this
time.
is interesting.
Yes, that was introduced to network marketing. I was online. I was a photographer. I used to do videography and graphic design. So I spend most of my time online. And I got this one email that was just making sense. And so I decided it piqued my interest, got into it.
They
And
pitched you.
they pitched me, right. Yes. So I went to, I don't think I want to call the company's name, but that was my first thing. I was introduced to it, and then when I got introduced to it, then another opportunity for the online as opposed to the physical aspect. So when I got pitched with the online world, now I got in with the company. The company tried to upsell me, but I didn't go as far because at the time I wasn't financially stable anyway. But I did invest up to a certain level. However, they did have they have their year-to-year conference, and so each conference would be about maybe they keep it 3 times per year, and it so happened that Florida was the closest state to me at the time from Florida. So I said, you know what? Let me take advantage of this time. Let me capitalize on this opportunity, and I came to Florida. When I at the time with mom, I was with my husband. His sister lived in Florida, and so we make it happen. When I came here now, I was amazed with how Florida looked at the time, because Florida looked nothing like New York looked nothing like Florida.
Especially if you're coming out of Brooklyn.
Exactly, right. So when I saw that, remember now, I am used to nature. I love nature back home. That was my type of thing, right? So now when I got to New York and then went on this trip to Florida, I said, no, man, this I remember like Jamaica. I think I want to live here. So that was my first time when I got on the trip, and when I went back home, I said to my husband, I said, look, I think I want to move. And he was like, move where? I said, I want to go to Florida. He was like, think about it, Camille. It's not that easy to live in Florida. I said, I know, but whatever it takes I'm gonna do it. And so I keep bothering him about it. And he said, oh, you serious? I said, yeah, I'm serious. And he said, so how soon you want to go? I said, maybe by 4-6 months. And that was it. The first time, because it's my second time.
Wow.
You want me to continue?
Go ahead. It's your show.
Okay. So then when I moved to Florida, I didn't have a set plan. I just know that my heart wanted to be there, my mind wanted to be there, and the body wanted to be there, because I got tired of Brooklyn. I felt like I wasn't seeing my way in Brooklyn at the time. So when I moved to Florida, I moved with my with the kids, and we carry my vehicle with me. So we did the Amtrak method, whereas driving to Virginia, put the truck on the auto train, and we got here. So at the time, I stayed with my sister-in-law at the time until I can transition or navigate on my own. So that's how we did that. So now 8 months in, things weren't things were kind of just, my car started giving trouble. There was no money there. I mean, yes, we were paying rent and taking care of the priorities, but to, you know, to get a car at the time, it wasn't happening. We didn't have it. But at the time, my husband was still in New York in his job until I was able to find something, which that didn't happen because the school system is different. The schedules were different, and it just wasn't working out to our expectation, not having a vehicle. So at the time, I got depressed. I got angry about the entire thing, and I moved back to New York after 9 months of moving to Florida. Hot mess, right? Hot mess.
Camille, you know that knowing you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I've known you since 2017. Here am I would have never thought that my friend would do that. Like
Yeah,
cold
because
turkey, cold turkey. Let's just move to Florida. No plan, no
no
strategy. Let's
hot,
go. Okay.
hot mess.
So
Yeah.
obviously you are living in Florida for years now. How did
Yeah.
you get back to Florida?
Okay, so let me tell you how this hot mess. Okay, so when I moved back to New York now, I was trying to figure out what is my next plan. At the time, I believe I was about 27 or 28, not sure, but somewhere close around there. And so, you know, I said, going back to New York, what is it that I'm gonna do? Because I already gave all my customers away to other videographer and graphic designer when I was moving. You know how that go, right? When you're
Yeah,
moving, relocating, you want to make sure you're able to send off your. So I did all of that already, and sold some of my equipment. So it was like a whole start of a process. So when I came to New York, I was staying by a family member until we end up getting our own place. And at the time, I had 2 kids at the time. But when I came in New York, now depression started to hit. I said, what did I do? So now I'm trying to figure out my way, trying to navigate, you know, at the time. And then I decided to go back to school. So I decided to major in IT because I was trying to figure out what is it that I was good at that I don't have to relearn and I'm already doing. So after, you know, assessing myself and doing some self evaluation, I said, I think IT would be my thing because I've been a gadget girl for a while, a photographer. I constantly troubleshoot on my own equipment, and I felt like it's something that I could have done. So when I went in there, when I went to pursue it, I knocked it out like this. So I decided to go back to school for 2 years. And then a year before I graduated, I knew I wanted to come back here because I wanted to have a set plan this time as opposed to last time when I didn't have a plan. So that's what took me back here. After I finished my degree, I moved back to Florida, and here I am.
Wow, amazing. Camille,
Yes.
why should somebody move to America?
Well, here is a land of opportunity if they decide to move here. If your life is better back home, whereas you're able to balance, you know, on the equilibrium, if you're able to fully, then maybe it isn't something to do. You can travel and go back and forth. But if that's not the case and coming here to the state, it's an opportunity to think about. So, you know, if someone wants to come here, they have to set their intention to focus on what they come to do as opposed to being distracted. Because even though here is a land of opportunity, it's a land of distraction as well. So you have to come equipped and ready to take action to pursue whatever you want.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
100%. And for a person that just come here, let's say they come to America at, I don't know, age 21, what is the common advice?
So if they come here at 21, if they have their high school diploma or a degree, if you will, the next thing to do is to go to Career Source. Go evaluate yourself, have your resume and let them start you out with a job if you're not able to find something. I would say just don't take no break, because it's easily to find friends, and friend that has no production and not doing anything with their life will quickly suck in somebody.
And that are born here.
Exactly, right. And it's two different things. Somebody coming here versus when you live here is two totally different things, because you've been here, you know what it is, but it's easily to be distracted. So I just feel like your eyes have to set on the prize. You have to set your intention and execute.
Okay, because that's a very important point. I want to ask you though, back home, inevitably we have a village. I think the village is very important. A child is mold for society. That certainly helped me. But here you kind of don't have the village, right?
Correct.
Um, what's your take on that? And how much Camille had to stand up to be a mother, knowing she don't have the village, and she's competed with social media, video games, and all of that. How does a Camille balance all of that?
Okay, so upbringing is very important to me. Thank God I have I grew up in a two-parent upbringing, right? So it doesn't matter. I mean, it's not my biological mother, but it's my stepmom that raised me, and I am very thankful for that, because I was shaped good inside my support system at the time, So I feel like if you have a strong support system, the way how I was raised in church, so my faith is very important to me. So as a result of that, the church has become that village for me, along with my family, that helped shape me the person who I am today. Therefore, me raising my children is something I passed on from what I have learned to shape my children, to get them equipped for this world. Because if you take a look into this world right now as we speak, it's corrupt. There's a lot of things going on, and even though we can't control certain things to a certain extent, but one thing that we can embed in our children is, teaching them from now. So whatever they know now, when they go out there, they'll be able to make an effective decision using emotional intelligence and not what is out there.
Very powerful. You talk about shaping, right? As a go-getter, right? Behind you, I see Dream Big, Never Give Up, books like Dare to Dream. Talk to us about that.
Okay, so for me, I am a powerhouse. I consider myself to be an action taker.
Well, the internet knows that.
Yes. But even in person, for me, this is very important to me, because I get up every day to look at it. So even right now, I am under the weather. I was sick last night, went to work this morning, but nevertheless, I knew what I had to do today. So sickness can't push the goals for me. So I live by these affirmations. I tell myself what I'm capable of. I tell myself what I'm gonna do, how strong I am, for continue to pursue, test my limit. It's very important to me. And not just me, but to have it here. So when my children walk inside, they too can see it, so that they know from here, they're not easily to break. I'm not gonna say I'm not built to break, but sometimes we need information and things like this to constantly remind us, and dream big, because we have a lot of dream killers, right? So we got to put these things and instill in us, so that when we have ideas and vision, we know how to tackle them one by one, despite what anyone else thinks. Affirmation is very powerful.
Excellent. Yeah, because the Bible talks about our word, right?
Correct. Yes.
So affirmations are important. But I want to ask you though, let's tap into your field a little. Where is tech, right? I know you used to do weddings. As I said, you're the one that introduced me to YouTube and stuff like that. But let me ask you a question. Educational purposes now for our audience. Did you saw this coming where YouTube channel would be a thing where cable would be null and void? Everything is streaming, everything is streaming. And how do one capitalize in today's day? Because I saw a thing where YouTube paid Mr. Beast over 600 million last year. The floor is yours because this is your field.
Yeah, so I saw this was coming, and that's the main reason why I tap into IT. I'm a person like this. I'm very resourceful, and I love to read, and I like to do my research. So Bureau of Statistics is where I go on, and I check to see what is the next wealth trend within 5 to 10 years. That's important for me. So that's why when I decided to major in IT, I knew the internet was going to be the next thing. It's good and it's bad depending on how we use it. However, for me, I always want to capitalize on it. I want to make money from it. And although I invest in physical aspect in businesses, sometimes, you know, things may not work out to my expectation. However, I knew that streaming was going to be the next thing because I looked at, you know, years ago when I used to do photography and videography and stuff like that, where we had tape and recording on memory chip, memory card and tapes and stuff like that. Now we no longer have it because we have the cloud, right? So I knew this world was going into the digital space and I wanted to capitalize on it. So what I did, I started YouTube. At the time, when I started YouTube, I wasn't doing it for any money or anything of that nature. First of all, I didn't know that you can be monetized on YouTube. When I started YouTube, I just love to talk on videos. I love to, when I saw how much I was able, the second internet business, the one that I told you I went to the annual event, when I used the power of the internet to create one video and direct someone to purchase my product to make $1,000 online, that was that spark moment for me. I said, this is it. If I can use one video to reach to someone and explain and break things down in a way, then there's nothing less, is not more for me to do than to continue this way. So I started to just create videos on top of videos and learning how to use keywords and SEO, search engine optimization. I learned how to use, how to become, I learned how to fill in based on searchable key terms or keyword phrase, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Right. So since I know how to position myself online, then digital real estate now became very powerful to me because now I'm able to have Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and I can monetize them to make something for me. Now, when we talk about the online world, a lot of people come up here and think it's a get rich quick thing, which is not. Because it's something that it's not an overnight process. You're building a knowledge base. When you come on YouTube, it's all a knowledge base. So if the algorithm don't know you, you have to create a knowledge base so they know who you are, right? Choosing a niche that they can focus on. And you can change a niche, but when you're just starting out, it's something that you can't afford to do. You got to stick within the niche. So then when the algorithm build up this category of you from your knowledge base, then after a certain period of time, once you start to reach the threshold of your 4,000 watch time and your 1,000 subscriber, once you're able to do that, then now you can become monetized, right? So digital real estate is very vital at this moment, and this is what everyone is doing. And like I said, it's not an overnight thing. You got to build, you got to work in the back end before you start seeing anything on the forefront. And that's what kills a lot of us at times, because we want instant gratification. We want to just start something and expect, and then we're comparing ourselves with Mr. Beast, Kai Cenat, all these different YouTubers
ISO speed.
the game, huh?
ISO speed.
Yes, yes. So what I'm saying, when you're just starting out, before you start looking at everybody and trying to hit this within 6 months to a year, go to their video, go to the oldest video and do your research first. You see, when did they start? That's the first thing I do. Whenever I'm a small YouTuber right now I'm going to 12,000 subscribers right now as we speak. But any person I see online that sparked my interest, the very first thing I do, two things. I go to their profile, hit their popular video because I want to see what got them popular. Boom. After that is done, I'm going to the oldest video. How long did they start? What was their process? So if I see that they was a YouTuber for the last 10 to 12 years, okay, then that tells me that it was not an overnight process. Does that make sense?
Listen, you're teaching.
Yes.
Wow. Camille,
that was a lot, but
no, but I understand and I can see your passion and drive. Because I'm just like you. I love to talk in the video. I never knew I love to talk in video. I know I love to have conversation about anything. I love debate. I love conversation.
yeah.
But I want to, because I want to wind up real quickly. You won Miss Duncan in Trelawney. Probably you were like 7, 8, 9, right?
Yeah, I was 9 when I win it. Yeah, and 7 and 8 years old when I got third place.
How did that came about? Was that your decision?
Well, I love to dance. Even right now, I love to dance. I mean, rhythm for me is everything. Once me hear rhythm, that's me. So now my mom.
Because hold on, that's the first part of the question. I'm gonna do the second part of the question. Was that the reason why you translate into the e-commerce fashion store that you have online?
Correct.
All right, go ahead now. You can answer. You can go ahead now.
Yes. So once I understood, well, here's the thing. So I remember back home when I was hungry and my mom used to go to the shop with my mom for trust. First of all, I watched my mom say,
But for my American viewers, she mean to credit.
To credit. Okay, yeah, credit. I'm sorry.
To credit.
Credit,
Yeah.
right, credit. So at the time I used to hear my mom, she would say, Mas boss, we can't trust a bulla and rice and chicken. At the time that was credit, right? Like Kevin said. And I saw the exchange, trading dollars. What she will pay eventually, but I saw that transaction. So in my mind, I said, okay, this is how business run. So as I gotten older, I knew that I wanted to do business. I want to trade something, right? And so going back to Mini Miss Duncan, when I want a fridge, I want a TV, I want money. I left that with my mom, got all of that. And I saw the reward with it. So
Miss Naomi Naturalist.
Yeah,
Miss Naomi Naturalist.
Yes. So it's like that was, in front of so many people at the time. So for me right there, I saw that. And then when I came here, I said, you know what? I want to be something that I can bring value, not just about even just wearing a clothes and this, but I want to become something. I want to become a positive substance to somebody in a positive way. And because I love fashion and I love business, I understand the business model and things like that. So that's what got me here into e-commerce. Why? And not just that. Overall, I feel like, when you're working a 9-to-5 job, you should always have something on the side because nothing is guaranteed. The only thing that is guaranteed is salvation. That's how I look at things. But at the end of the day, always have your own. So while I have my 9-to-5, I always strive to have my business on the side with the hope that one day it will override my earned income.
Wow. At what age you went back to Jamaica for the first time?
22.
Took you 12 years.
Yes.
What was that like?
When I went there, I went with my daughter. My daughter was about Okay, 21 is when I went because my daughter was born when I was 21 years old, and then I took her down 3 months. So it was 21. The first time going down, there's a part of me, I was so happy to see my mom, so happy to go back to my land of living.
Because you haven't seen your mom in 10 years.
Yes.
Camille, stop right here. People need to know this because when as immigrants, when parents are no, you and I are parents, we make different sacrifices.
Mm-hmm.
Those parents, all four parents, make different sacrifices that we don't know if we would make.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Here it is. She haven't seen her daughter in 10 years, 12 years.
Yes. Because
What
there
was
was no funds. My parents didn't sponsor me to go see my mom. Like, even though I wanted to, remember my dad had 7 children. So it's not easy to take out money, say, yeah, go buy ticket for
to go
Jamaica.
visit?
Yeah, if you go visit. That his mind, he's probably saying, okay, when you reach 18, then you can go look for your mother. In fact, I lived with my stepmom at the time, so you know how that goes.
Yeah.
It was just what it is at the time, but I made it my what's the perfect word? It was just, it's time for me to go at the time.
Yeah.
So when I had my daughter, I went back home and I saw my mom. I wasn't happy the fact that she saw me with a baby, because at the time you're young. What you do with
Yeah.
baby, at 21. But it is what it is at the time.
And that baby is in college now, right?
Exactly.
She's in college now. What was the first thing you ate when you went back home?
What was it? I think I eat. I don't remember.
Don't
I
tell
don't.
me.
I don't remember. Maybe some jerk chicken or soup. Soup is when I go to Jamaica, I always want soup. But I know I'm gonna eat some good food at the time.
There's a video of you in the market drinking a jelly the other
Yes,
day
you
when you were
remember.
pregnant with your last child, right?
A
You
lot of
were
people
in the
cuss me.
market. Yeah.
A lot of people cuss me. They were like,
Was
"What?"
that Spanish Town Market? Where was that? Is it in
It,
Trelawney?
no, it was Kingston. It
Oh,
was
you were in downtown Kingston.
downtown Kingston. Yes, yes. So it was not all right. So my first of all, my parents, they cussed me because I was pregnant. I had my phone. I had 2 phones on me at the time with my tripod walking. And they were like, they're gonna take your phone, they're gonna snatch your bag, they're gonna do this. I prayed before I leave. I said, God, you're gonna take control of me, but I'm going down there. Because what happened, we stayed in a hotel and they wanted us to stay in a hotel the entire time. And Jamaica don't nice for me unless me go in at that area.
Crazy.
I have to go walk in there and talk to the people them, and I made it. Me and my sister, we went, and it was great. I don't know, they were looking and looking, but I made sure I put everything right in front of me, and I
You
had
mean
my
the first time you went down or just the other day?
no, just the other day we were talking about the jelly.
Oh,
We're
oh, oh,
talking
oh.
about that experience, yeah, but it's nothing like going in the ghetto for me. I love it
Yeah.
because it's what I am used to. I was used to that back home. So I didn't want to go looking all polished up and not reminiscing. I wanted to go back there because that's where I came from.
Yeah. Did the community came out to see you when you came back for the first time? Was your house was the center of attraction? Camille is here. Camille is here.
You're talking the first time when I went to Jamaica?
Yeah.
No, because what happened was my mom, the house that I was living in, it was a family house from my father's side. So when we came here, the family wanted the house, so my mom had to move to I think Falmouth at the time. So when
Yeah.
I went here to be with her, it was a different thing. I had to go back to Duncan's to see whoever, and the same people, they weren't there. So I didn't get to see a lot of people because most of my family moved here. So
Yeah.
just very little, little
Wow.
few people I saw. Mm-hmm.
Wow. So you've been living now in the United States for 30 years. Wow. When you look back at the journey, what do you have to say though?
The journey is worth it. I'm not where I would like to be, but I'm grateful for where I am right now because
And where you're going.
and where I'm going. I'm still thriving, you know. So it's God is good. He is
All
good
the
to me. So
time.
I'm not complaining.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, Camille, I don't know what to say. It was such a pleasure to sit down with you because I've been wanting to do this. Really and truly, I wanted to do it in person. But that's for another time. But we will definitely, because people, I've been friends with Camille since 2017. I've never seen her in person.
Yes, and we established a friendship online and we talk
People, I've
about
never seen her in person. And we
Mhm.
talk all the time,
Yeah.
But it has been good though, Camille. Definitely. We know you're going to get to 50,000 to 100,000.
Yeah,
Then if your secretary allowed to take my call, then I can come to Florida and do a sit down. What you say about that?
definitely.
Okay.
I'm still waiting for in-person one when you get here. So, if God permits, we'll get there. But I'm still grateful for the opportunity to be interviewed. And you know what? It's vital because it really, now that we went through it and I, expressed, and it really allowed me to really value and be grateful of how far I
Yeah,
have been coming. So it's a great thing. It's
absolutely.
amazing.
Get back to
I
peel
went
back
through a
the
lot.
layers. Yeah, we peel back the layers and hopefully this is a step for bigger things. I really appreciate you taking the time out to sit down and have this conversation on the My Journey to America podcast. So tell them where to follow you now. Tell them where to follow you.
Okay, so you can follow me on CamzT, which is CAMZT on YouTube. All right, so you can do the @ and in the search box, the @ CamzT. You can find me there. All right, and then I won't say Facebook because I'm promoting CamzT right now. That's what we're going. This is the platform I'm trying to build. So you can always reach out to me there.
Okay, guys, you hear it. You hear it from the one and only Miss Naturalist, Camille Thompson, Jamaican born, Miss Minnie Duncan. I just knew that. Miss Minnie Duncan.
Yes.
Thank you for coming and thank you for your time. That's it. That's a wrap on the My Journey to America podcast. Bye-bye. God bless.
All right, take care. Thanks for having me.